This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
What's up, Bronco Nation? Welcome back to the Riley and Ridge Show. Sorry for being away for the past couple weeks, but we're back now. And as always, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. It means the world to us. We're excited to talk about Boise State football. I'm Riley Smith, former Boise State tight end, here along with legendary football coach Kent Riddle. And we got a great special guest today, former Boise State wide receiver, my roommate, one of my best friends. We got the Billy Bowens. Bill, we're excited for you to be here, man. It's been a long time coming.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here with you too.
And you look snazzy too, man. You got the glasses, you got the polo.
You know, I had to come prepared, man. It's the Rid and Riley show. I gotta be ready, man.
Billy looks very professional. Very professional.
Learn from
entering into that professional realm, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bill, why don't you give us a little update? I think around Pro Day, you were kind of one of the bigger stories, and I don't think a whole bunch has really been said about that. Kind of wanted to let you take the lead on that story and just tell everybody kind of what happened, what's going on now, how you're doing, all those sort of things.
Absolutely. So, hello, everyone. Welcome for tuning in. It's Billy Bowens. So I mean, after our season ended, I got into training, just kind of chasing your dreams, getting ready for a big pro day. And our pro day, for those of you who don't really know, it's like where a bunch of NFL teams and scouts come and check you guys out. They get your measurables, just see how you move, how you look, how you act, how you present yourself. And it's like the big evaluation before the draft. So, I mean, it was a big deal. You train super hard. It was a 12-week training process for me. And, you just get really devoted, right? It's something that, you're chasing your dreams. You want to lock in. You got to be super disciplined. For me personally, I was working out 2 to 3 times a day, 6 to 7 times a week, literally. And it's like, it's super intense. Yeah. I had some aquatics workouts. But I tell you, those are probably some of the hardest workouts, harder than the on the field workouts for me. So, but it was a really fun process. And, had a really good time training. I trained out here in BSU and off the field with, it's like this place out here in Meridian, really good people. And then I would work with our staff and coaches and stuff at Boise State. So they were really great people as well. And just to get to it, Pro Day comes, we're all ready. We're juiced up. We're having a great time. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It was intense. The feeling is there. It's real. Like it's like the lights are on, and it was probably just as intense as any football game that I've ever played in. If I'm being honest with you guys, like you're seeing those scouts, NFL teams, and it's like it's important. It means a lot to you. So I'm just looking at those guys, and they got their cameras out. They're doing everything to a T. It's dead silent. You could hear a pin drop in there. Like it's intense. So. I'm going in there. You start off with the bench press, and then you start off in the weight room just doing some things. They get your measurables. They're telling you, like, turn this way, angle this way, point your feet this way. They're, like, getting your height, chopping your head down to a T. They're, like, getting your weight.
They shrink you a little bit, don't they?
Yeah.
How tall do you think you were before they measured you?
Right. I would say about 6'1", 6'2" before the measurement. Probably after I was like 5'5", like with those guys. The way that
Is that why you waited to cut your hair until after the pro day?
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, and I had a bigger hair, and I chopped it all after pro day. I told Riley, I was like, I'm trying to keep me a few inches on. You know how they get. So, So I mean, end up doing that. So pro day's going well. I'm having a really good pro day, and hitting my marks and just having fun. It's been a great day. And at the end, we're the last, people to go. And it's a thing called ROAs, like routes on air. So you just pretty much run routes with the quarterback. Really simple, nothing crazy. We planned for about 12 routes. They chopped it down to 6. They were like, you guys, we just need 6 and we're done. So we're doing that, having a good time. My agent told me like, hey, you got some interviews lined up with some teams after this. They're really liking you. You're doing great. Like, I'm like fired up, let's go. That's perfect. That's all we needed. And so as we're doing the routes on air period, at the very end, the very last route, you always end with a deep route, right? It's just how it goes. You start short, work intermediate, then you finish with a deep one to end the day. So it was the final route for me. The very last route of the day, I'm running a deep post route, right? Deep take post, as we call it. And quarterback launches it, right? I'm hauling, moving really fast. End up turning, caught the ball, but it was like placed on my like kind of back shoulder. So I had to like twerk my body a little to kind of get there. And I had pushed off my right knee kind of weird, right? So I end up leaving the ground, catching the ball, tumbling, rolled into end zone. Everyone's cheering, yeah, let's go. And then I end up looking at my knee, and I realized something was wrong. And my knee was completely like separated. And I I couldn't get up. So I had to flag down the trainers. They put me on the cart, wheeled me in. I ended up getting x-rayed, MRI and whatnot. And they ended up seeing that I actually tore my patellar tendon. So with that being said, it's 8 pretty much month process minimum before I'm able to compete and do athletic activities again. And so I mean that ended up happening. I mean, I've had a lot of support, a lot of love and positivity coming my way. But it's just the timing of it is the worst part of it all, right? Because it's 3 to 4 weeks before draft day, and you're just having a great time, doing a great pro day and turning some heads, raising some eyebrows, and then next thing you know, just in the snap of fingers on a route that I've run probably literally 100+ times in my career. And it just happened to end that way. So it's kind of where we're at.
And so after the injury, then what happened?
Yeah, so I mean, after the injury, I just kind of, I went in and had surgery. So I'm 4 weeks out of surgery now, and doing my physical therapy and just trying to work it back in. But I mean, as of right now, I'm really just trying to figure things out, figure out what's next. My biggest goal is just getting my knee healthy and get my body right, and then we'll see what's to come after that.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
And the biggest thing for you, and I know you've always been like this. I mean, we've had up and downs since freshman year, since we stepped foot on campus and had to go through Coach Pitt. Like, we've been going through the ringer. And something about you that always sticks with me, and anybody you come in contact to, my parents say this all the time, is your positive outlook on every situation that you're presented with. And I know how hard it was for you because I was with you right after that day and pro day, and having arguably one of the best pro days at Boise State, and having it end like that is rough. And we've talked about it. But you being able to flip your mind and not feel sorry for yourself and kind of looking at it as a lesson on how you can grow. And obviously you weren't meant to be in that situation, but where can you go from there? Tell us about, because I think that's a secret to life, is how you can look at tough situations, adverse situations, and flip it into something positive. And out of everybody I know, you always do that. So if you could drop some knowledge on us on what perspective you always try to keep and how you do that, because that you did it last year when we were struggling during the season, and you turned everybody around, and that was huge for us. So you could drop it for the people because it's big time.
I mean, just appreciate you, man. I mean, it means a lot. And just going off of what you said, I mean, just going back to the basics, right? The 10-90 rule, right? Life is 10% of what happens and 90% of how you want to react, how you respond. If football's taught me anything, it's that. And I feel like you said, that goes a long ways in life, and that takes you everything. It's a mentality, right? It's a mindset. It's like what happened wasn't in the plan, right? No one really expected that. It was truly unexpected, and the timing of it is even worse, So it's just one of those things that's like, but it's like, so what, now what? In a sense, it's like, I know it's unfortunate. I know it's not fair. I know it's not what I wanted to happen, but it's like, Superman isn't going to put on a cape and fly down and pick me up and save the day, right? Like, I'm going to have to figure something out. I'm going to have to pivot and go to what's next. And that's the biggest thing I've learned. Like, just talking to everyone, my phone's been blown up off the charts. When it happened, I mean, like I said, I'm not even kidding. I probably had close to 500 messages and calls and texts and everyone has just been sending a whole bunch of love and support and like giving me quotes and giving me advice, and then just trying to help out, whether it's another opportunity or just trying to help me get on my feet again. It's been nothing but love, and I really appreciate that. That just goes to show not only how the people are in this community, but the relationships I've made through football. And that's the biggest thing that I love and I take with me, because it's like you guys, prime examples, you two are like two guys that helped me get through this and that were there like that and supporting me the whole way. And I mean, like, it's been endless love.
Well, Bill, I'd love to think that somebody somewhere taught you some of that, but the reality of it is you've been teaching us that since the day you walked on campus. So I think that was something that was put there long before you ever hit Boise State. And that's one of the things about being a coach that you truly get to enjoy. So many people bringing things into your life, and just the opportunity to be around all those people and absorb all those things. And, you take something special from everybody, but, I don't think anybody would ever say anything about your positivity and energy, doing anything but uplifting everybody around them. Guys never had a bad day. So,
and he gets it
maybe
from the
bad
Bowens
moments.
family. If you met the Bowens family, they're all positive. They always got a smile on their face, man. It's just like, they're pouring out of it, and it's awesome to be around them. So I see where Billy gets it from, but
No doubt.
it's definitely badass, and it's definitely contagious for sure. So,
So what are we looking at now, Billy? Other than rehab, what else you doing?
Yeah, I mean, just right now, I've just been trying to stay in it, right? I mean, in terms of like short term, just getting my mental right, getting my physical right, getting my mind right. In terms of like long term, I just got to find something to do, over the next couple months, something that's gonna.
So anybody out there watching, needs a little help with their business, Billy's available. Give him a call. He will add value to whatever you do. Doesn't matter what the industry is, any of that stuff. One of the best people person around. So
if there's a record label out there, you better hit up Bill, because he's got some heat cooking, and I'm already contracted to have a verse.
I love it.
I'm sure Coach Rick could be in the background with some ad libs or something.
Absolutely, we'll get everyone involved.
Billy's gonna get some music on it. I told Bill, like, whatever he does, whatever direction he goes in, he's gonna dominate in it. Now it's just kind of choosing what he wants to do. So it'll be
absolutely
what you do from
absolutely. I know I've already talked to people that have interest in hiring Billy. So you just got to figure out what the career path is.
Yeah. I'm kind of at the point where like I'm like my mind is flustered, right? I told him it all happened so fast, like just a month and a half ago. It's all NFL, all football, locked in, and it's like then it happened so quick that it's like you got to figure out what's next. And it's like I'm saying, like my mind's open to everything. I've been just exploring new things and new opportunities, new talents, like just figuring out myself and stuff like that. Because it's like you said, like this has been all I've known and done since I was 7 years old. Right. And that's just the athlete life. Like the transition is the biggest thing always for every athlete once sports, and that's always the big topic of discussion. So that's kind of where we're at. It happens for everyone. We know it happens. So just kind of figuring it
out. Coach Pitt even hit me up about trying to drive you down to Pocatello.
Yeah.
Give you a ride just so you can visit with him.
Yeah, no, that's something I'm really interested in too. I've been talking to them, and I mean, I love it. Like, I mean, I'm probably going to head up there soon and check out their place and see what's going on with that. But I mean, it's been nothing but love and opportunity. So, I mean, I'm super thankful for that.
Absolutely. Well, good. So we kind of wrap that up a little bit. We got an idea where Billy's headed, all that. We have not been on really since the spring games. So maybe I know both you guys were there. I had the opportunity to be there. Get your kind of thoughts on what you guys saw out there.
I mean, I was fired up. I mean, you could see the competitiveness on the field is always something that you're looking for. It's never really solely on the performance, you will say. Like, it's not about the scoreboard and scoring touchdowns, but it's seeing the competitiveness of the guys and how they're treating it like a game day, because going out there and playing in front of a crowd for the first time in a couple months is always nerve-wracking, and seeing how people perform under pressure. But mostly just kind of seeing the new guys and the people that have just came in January, how they're going to perform on the blue and be held to that standard. And it was impressive to see. I mean, a lot of guys making plays and going back and forth. Gabe Hunter always catching an interception. That's
He's
just
a machine, right?
He's a machine. If Gabe's in the game, do not throw it in the flat. But it was good. It was good to watch. I mean,
Yeah.
It was weird for us. Me, Billy, DJ, Brandon Hawkins, Cole Ramsayer, a couple guys were up there watching the game, and it felt weird. Weird sitting up there, but it was cool to see the boys ball out for sure.
And a great turnout. It's fun to see all the fans out there. Beautiful day, which never hurts, obviously. But a ton of former players around, all ages, not just the guys you mentioned, but guys from really every era. So I thought that was exciting. I think all that stuff is it was huge. Just a great day for the Broncos, and obviously we didn't see a ton from Ashton.
Right.
He kind of pulled up a little bit with a little quad deal, I think. Quad or hammy, as he scored a touchdown, of course. But
he went in the end zone.
But I think that pretty much, made sure that was going to end it for him. But I would imagine none of you guys or me expected to see much of him. But it was fun to see some of those younger guys out there get out and do some things. And there's no point in looking at the scoreboard in the spring game because I still can't figure out how the defense scores points every possession.
Same.
We score a touchdown, we get 8 points. I don't get it.
Yeah. Drive the ball 75 yards, have to kick a field goal. It happens. You get 3, they get 4. I mean,
right. Spring game for you.
Yeah. So, but no, it was fun, and there were obviously a lot of guys out that didn't play at all. So I think that I think if you leave there with an opinion on the team based on that game, it should be that they were very organized and they had good energy. Other than that, obviously everybody wants to talk about Malachi Nelson.
Yeah,
he did a great job. I thought. He showed what he needed to show, but I think we all knew there's no way the quarterback battle was going to end in that game, no matter what.
For sure.
Yeah. So, and I think this week that kind of came out. Spencer said that, like, hey, we're, when we start summer camp or summer practices or whatever, Madison will take first team reps, and Malachi will take the seconds. But I would anticipate them to rotate that over the summer also. And, sometime around the second scrimmage of the fall is probably when we'll be locked in and know who the quarterback is, but not until then.
Yeah.
And it'll be good competition too. I mean, going way back, like I remember when it was Chase, Cord, Brett, Hank. It was, I don't know if it was competition in there, but those guys were pushing each other, and it was cool to watch on a daily basis, like how much better you get when the guys behind you are also capable of starting too. So it'll be cool to see how much better both of them get from this situation.
Well, and Riley, you can probably speak to this because you were a quarterback, but there's so much more to just what you see during the scrimmage, right? And that obviously has a lot of it, but who's going to be the guy has a lot to do with who can lead the team over the summer, because that's one of the huge deals. Now, does that mean if you do a great job leading the team and you can't complete a pass that you're going to be the starter? No, it doesn't. But I think those things kind of go hand in hand, usually making the other guys around you better to do that. Why don't you guys talk about that for a sec? Bill, you too.
I mean, I just, like you said, like it's winning over your team too, right? Like the guy that has the most chemistry and the most guys that are going to follow and run through a brick wall for you, that's kind of the guys you want to play for and play with, so it's like all that matters. And I mean, it was really fun just seeing the guys up there and seeing the younger guys that, maybe weren't as vocal or as much of a role the year before come out and step out and just embrace those roles and show up and start being more of key factors, to the team. Like that's the coolest thing I would say about graduating and then just going back and looking and seeing how it is now.
Yeah. And just seeing who can be a field general, and it's not only in the QB position, it's across the board. And that's where the confidence is built. It's just how you operate in live whether it's scrimmage or practice or a game, but how you operate. Like you can be amazing at ROAs or amazing in the film room, but when you're step between the lines, it's who can operate at a high, consistent level. And I think that's where it comes to who gains the most trust, whether it's a quarterback or even a receiver or O-line, which way you feel comfortable running the ball to. I mean, it's all spread out throughout the game. But I think for quarterback, obviously it's most important to be able to lead the team and have the most confidence in yourself and from your teammates will be big for whoever's going to.
And communicate, right? I mean, you got to get everybody on the same page. That seems there are obviously teams that do it, and the quarterback really has nothing to do but throw the ball, but that's not really the Boise State offense. So you got to be able to communicate, make sure you're making the right checks, get everybody on the correct page, all that stuff, make the correct decisions with where the ball goes, and then deliver it accurately and on time. And it takes a while to get there sometimes. I thought Malachi showed a great deal of that in the spring game, just the ability to operate. I think he probably still needs to speed things up a little bit, but that'll come with reps. You see him making the correct decision is the biggest thing at this point. Now he'll start to make that faster and faster and faster. And we've seen Madison, I keep saying that, geez, with live bullets flying, and he seems to always do the right thing. So either way, however that plays out, we have a couple good players and some depth, and I think that'll be an exciting thing, and it'll be fun to watch. And I wouldn't even necessarily expect that we'll have a public announcement of who the quarterback's going to be up until the week before the game. And even then, that might be an iffy thing.
Right. For sure.
it
So,
would be interesting. But speaking about competition, I like this question right here. It's who is faster, Riley, or Billy?
Well, if Billy's still got his brakes on that I saw,
I think right now we can
not
take
finish last.
Right now, I think I'm third. As of a month and a half ago,
yeah.
If we got up there and it was life or death, I might be done.
Yeah. My only hope is that Billy's got that brace on.
It still might be close, but
it still might be. I'm more of a jogger than a sprinter now. Speaking of jogging, Riley, what are you training for right now? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? I got report actually during the Boise River Marathon that Riley was out getting his own training in on the Greenbelt.
Yeah, no, I'm training for the Coeur d'Alene Marathon with some of the football guys and some Sigma Chi guys. Kate Connie is running it with me. And dude, that dude couldn't even get through a series or a drive without throwing up or being gassed.
300-yard shuttle.
Yeah, and now he's cooking me on this marathon. I'm going to try to keep up with him, but he's insane. But it's been good. It's been kind of something for me to just keep trying to feed the beast and find new challenges and ways to just push myself. And though it came up, actually, there was someone that came to Boise State. He was in Billy and I's class, and he was in Sigma Chi, got me to join the frat, and then he played lacrosse at Boise State, ended up working at Boise State with operations for football. His name is Andrew Walker. And he ran the marathon last year with a couple people. And on mile 23, he passed away and had heart failure. And it was devastating to everyone because he was one of those guys. He's like Billy. Like he just puts a smile on your face no matter what. And so that's kind of what got us all to run it. And so I think it's close to like 40 or 50 people going out and running it for him. So it's been awesome, and it's been cool to be able to go out and push myself because I hated running like 300s and all that fifths. That was not my forte, but it's been something.
Nobody
cool
hated it more than Kikani though.
Yeah, and he's a beast, but it's been cool. Yeah, but I ran last weekend when they were doing the marathon, and I was in a dark place, but we made it through. So it's coming up.
How far'd you go?
I went 22 miles.
Oh, nice. All right. You should have just jumped in and finished the last 4.
I should have. It was funny. You finished at Payette was the ending point, and I didn't know that. And one of Tyler Crow's girlfriend was running the full marathon, and they were like, after the run, let's all meet at Payette for some beers. And I thought we were just going to get beers, and I'm running through, and they have the big setup. They're handing out medals, and I finished, and they're trying to give me a medal and a T-shirt. And I'm like, I didn't run the whole race, but they ended up giving it to me anyway. So I took it. But
the funny thing is, I'm not sure how I missed you because I was there at the finish.
I was probably later. I heard I just missed you. Actually, they said you hit it out because I saw C. Ridd's girlfriend ran it too.
She ran the whole thing, and she was a champ. So you got to get out there, and we might get some sponsorship news out of that pretty soon here. So so
great.
Yeah,
so it's been going good, but I'm ready for it to be over. I'm ready to run the race and not run anymore.
I will tell you about mile 18. Grace was like, "I'm going to finish this thing." And then she finished, and she was like, "I don't know what I was thinking. Why I would ever do that?"
That's what I'm saying. Like, kudos to you guys. But you might not ever see me doing one of those. But I mean, I love you guys and your ambition, and it motivates me. I mean, I'm so proud for you guys. But
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't, just mention again why you're doing it for Drew and all that, and that he was awesome job by Boise State and the athletic department and all that, awarding him his master's in the MAL leadership athletic leadership program on Saturday, recognizing him as a graduate. Just a fantastic person that, that's part of why Boise State football is what it is. So happy to see that. I don't think he'll ever be forgotten. I certainly hope not. But to see Boise State recognize him, take care of him like that. So obviously a big moment for him and his family, and his dad, high school football coach, all that stuff. So over in Seattle.
Oh yeah, one of the greatest dudes. And so he's definitely still pushing us to this day. I mean, we feel it, but no, it's been great, and it's exciting to be able to go celebrate him. So,
hold
up, before we go on, this was big news. Big Jimmy said, "Billy, what happened to your hair? Love the bald head, man." Kelly Love.
Yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, I really originally 2 years ago just started growing my hair out, and they were just naturally forming into dreadlocks, right? So then I went and had my sister, and then her boyfriend's mother. They actually sat me down, and we went through the whole process. It took legitimate, like almost close to 10 hours to lock all of my hair up. So I ended up having dreadlocks. Long. It started getting really long. But me, I'm the type that I like to look neat. And if you want your dreadlocks to look neat, it requires a lot of maintenance, right? You got to get the oil, you got to get the hair products, you got to tie it down, you got to have it tied before every practice. Everything, every time your helmet comes on and off, you got to have something covering it, right? And then every time I take a nap, every time I want to go to sleep, and I nap every day. So it was a lot going on for me. And I'm just like, and then a retwist costs, and then to get a haircut, that costs. Those are two separate fees. So it's just, you can see how it starts to add up, especially for a guy like me who's just a college student, just trying to make it by and focus on ball and school. And I already have a lot to worry about. So I was like, you know what? I'm done with it. I loved it. I chopped it all off, but I kept one. It's in the bathroom somewhere. I could.
Are you gonna pull static?
No. I was gonna say, who has had more hairstyles, you or Steph?
I would say Steph. He's got me beat probably by 3.
Static's a magician because Static chopped it off and looked like Billy, and then one day he came back to the facility and they were all back on.
Yeah. So what his deal was he chopped. Me and him actually decided to chop at the same time. So we ended up chopping at the same time. I threw mine away like a normal person. Okay, I love Steph to death, but he had the bright idea of keeping them, which is not uncommon. People do it, right? But he kept his, and the running joke on the team was like he kept them in a box or kept them in the freezer or just was watering them every day. Like, I'm like, guys, we got it. But anyway, so what happened was he grew his hair a little bit, right? Just a short enough mini afro. long enough till he can reattach his dreadlocks. So he blew everyone by surprise. So he came back. Remember, we got a whole new staff. We had a whole bunch of new trainers and teammates and everything. So he's like me, right? Imagine seeing me at one team meeting, coming back the next day, and him having locks to his shoulders. Everybody was like, whoa, who is the new guy? And he's like, got it in his face, everything. He puts it back up. He's like, it's me. I'm static. I'm back. We're like, what is going on? Like,
Speaking of stat, I'm rocking.
Shout out Static,
nice.
man. Shout out Steph Cobbs, man. We love him to death.
You got the dreads right here, but nothing right here. Oh, we got another guest, man.
Yeah, so it was great. It was great to hear from him. And shout out him, man. We've been, but yeah, when he reattached them, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just keep mine where they are. But I kept one just for the memory, so might sell it one day. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where
put it on eBay, Facebook Marketplace.
Right. Might reattach it. Just have one long dreadlock down the back. We'll see.
That's called a rat tail.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe not.
We get Garrett Larson to demo the rat tail.
Yeah. Get him.
Yeah, that's still up there. That's crazy.
Still.
Yeah.
We give history lessons to the guys in there. Like, you guys don't know, but this was attached to a really great guy when we were young. Then it's hilarious.
That now weighs 190 pounds.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's unreal.
Yeah.
But
yeah. For you guys listening, so pretty much there was a lineman when Riley and I were really young on the team. And he had a big rat tail, right? Like, it was just probably the most cool but raunchy thing you could imagine for a rat tail on a football lineman. And he ended up cutting it, and now they have it up posted in the lineman room as like a trophy. Like it's like an artifact in there now, and it's literally like just posted in there. And they have a picture.
All the towels that have been stolen.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
yes.
It's crazy. It's crazy, guys. Yeah. So maybe we can get one of Static's dreads or my dreads and put them in a receiver room and pin it up. Maybe that.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. That needs to happen.
I'll give a lock too. I'll contribute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, Riley, no offense, but I feel like if we're going to put anybody's hair up in the tight end room, it probably should be Pistoni's.
Absolutely.
Yes. Agree.
Absolutely.
He has my vote. That was my first mullet ever seen. I'm gonna be honest. I'm from Southern California. That wasn't a thing, especially where I grew up. I came up here and I saw his hair and I was like, that dude's got something different to him. Like I love it. And it's history. The rest is history.
Yeah, that was impressive. Yeah. And then T. Crow and Dylan Herberg, it was just legendary mullets.
There's nothing quite like when T. Crow and Herbert go full redneck with the mullet and the cutoff jeans and the
the rodeo. T. Crow was in peak form.
Yeah, and shout out T. Crow. He's kind of got me along these. Hey, I got something for you guys. Oh, bet you didn't think I was gonna pull this out.
Yeah.
Shout out T. Crow and all my Boise boys for getting me the cowboy hat. You see it?
Yeah. We missed one of the weeks because we were at Cody Johnson and Billy pulled up. Billy had the boots, the cowboy hat.
Oh, yeah.
We got to meet him too. And he looked more cowboy than Kojo did.
Yep. First country concert. They completely got me. They got me going. They got me in love in the country music, country vibe. I've been to a couple rodeos and I kept telling people, yeah, this is my first rodeo. And they thought I was like playing, but I was like, no, like, they're like, well, it ain't my first rodeo. And it just kept on. But yeah, I mean, I love it. I love it all now.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
No, that's sweet. No, it's been fun. Boise's a special place. I mean, it's crazy how football just brings so many different people together. And like coming from Florida, Billy's from Cali. Like, I remember the first time we floated the Boise River was probably one of the funniest days of my life. Yeah. And we were going down and it was like Billy, Static. We had Tyreek LaBeouf. And I think and Tyreek came in full clothes. Like, he was about to go downtown and he had a backpack on with everything. And he was locked in and our tubes popped. And we swim to the side and we look out and Tyreek LaBeouf is walking down the middle of the Boise River in jeans, and he has his backpack on, and it was just miserable. I had to drag them out to try to go again.
Keep in mind, this is our first mistake because we went to Albertsons and we bought the floaties at the top of like the food aisle. You get what I'm saying? And we were like, that's
yeah, bad floaty.
Yeah, like one of us had a flamingo, one had like a donut. We're thinking we're about to make it all the way down this 3 hours or so ride. Like, no, it's not happening. And Tyreek also had the backpack with all the electronics, all the valuable items, the keys. He would be the one with everything, right? Guys, I got jeans. I'm not getting wet. I got the backpack. Put everything in my bag. I got you guys. Don't worry. We're like, fine. We trust you. You're a tall guy. You're athletic. We're going to trust you with the stuff. And after everyone popped, we managed to get, like Rye said, and we're looking. We're like, where's Tyreek? He's like army, like swimming and chopping the water. And we're like, no. I'm just seeing the backpack get soaked. I'm like, my phone's in here. It was criminal.
It was bad. And then we had the story too. This was freshman year, and Billy's girlfriend flew out to come see us, and we thought going down the river we would just go straight, right? But we were bouncing from side to side, hitting every tree possible. And there was at one point where we were in the trees and we were kind of about to tip. And like, as a good boyfriend, you would kind of step in front of your girl and protect her. Billy was pushing his girlfriend into the trees to protect himself.
Fight or flight. She needs to have the instinct to survive. Yeah. I had it.
Okay, that's why he's single right now.
That happens. That happens literally every time I've ever been on the river. I see people doing that.
No, but we had to. It took us a while.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But I thought you guys were talking about when we floated down as the whole team. At like 8 a.m. when the river's freezing, it's cold outside.
Yeah, that was a good time though. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Billy, these the J boots. Is that where you got them from?
Oh yeah. Yes, these are J boots from the J Foundation actually, and that's a great. I think Jay's doing an amazing thing. Shout out to him. So, can I get into that or do we got? Yeah. Okay. Sure. So one day we have a leadership group, right, with all your kind of older guys and captains of the team. There's about 10, 15 of us. Coach Avalos hits us up and he's like, hey guys, like, be prepared. We're just going on a spontaneous trip. And that never really happens. You know what I mean? Like, it's
usually bad.
It's right. Weird. So he was like, you guys be here at this time. We're going somewhere. And that's all the news they were giving us. And they were being like really secretive about it. You get what I'm saying? So we're kind of like on edge. We don't really know. We're asking. We had a couple of the guys who were like on staff, but like just cooler with us. And we're like, hey, like, can you tell us? They're like, we can't, like, we don't know, or we just can't. So whatever. We end up driving to, what was it? Twin Falls?
Yeah.
I want to say, it was a push. I'm not gonna lie. We definitely were in the ride in the car for like an hour plus, and it was cool because we were all together, so we were just having fun, and it was like a big, like an AAU tournament, or like an old school tournament when you just drive with your buddies to go have fun. But anyway, so we get out to this place, and it's like a cowboy kind of Western themed store. I'd never been there. I never really even heard of it, but we walk in. And wow, it's really nice. It's a bunch of the most cowboy boots and cowboy hats and stuff I've ever witnessed in my life. And keep in mind, I'd never had like a pair of cowboy boots or anything like that. So I'm just in there. I'm thinking,
you and me both.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. This guy comes out and he's like, hey guys. And he pretty much explains, like, I just want to let you guys know I'm here. And we have this foundation. That's why you guys are here. And we wanted to just do something nice for you guys and explain a story while we do it. So we're like, all right, fine. We're here. And we go into this room. He ends up taking us through this, like, it's like a little tour of the place. And it gets really serious. He's like, I just want to let you guys know that, like, you guys all mean something. And you guys are all really important. And don't ever feel like no one loves you out there. No one cares for you out there. And that's when we all start looking like, okay, this is getting kind of serious and it's like intense. So he's like, I'm going to share you my story and why I do what I do. And we're like, okay, sure. Like, let's go. I'm locked in now. We go into this room. He has pictures up of him and this guy that's not there. But, he's like, this is my best friend. And we've been friends for a long time. And pretty much without telling his whole story, he ends up and goes to tell us that, his friend ended up taking his own life. And and he was in a really rough place, and he just felt like if he was there for his friend, he'd still be alive today. And his biggest thing was that his friend ended up going into the closet and that's where he ended his life. And he said, like, from here on out, what I want to do is start a foundation where we give out shoes and boots to people, cowboy boots specifically. And I want people to know, like, keep these boots, always have them in your closet. So that way, if you ever feel the need to go in there or do something that harm yourself or feel down, you just look at these boots, you put them on, you stand a little taller, and you know that you're loved and that people care for you out there. And he was like, and with that being said, I want all of you guys to go get a free pair of boots and know that, like, I love you guys. I care for you guys. And I was like, oh my God, like, like, wow, that blew me away. It was an amazing event, amazing time. It was change of heart for me. Great. And he said, like, they do that all the time, right? They have people come over and they do this for young children and adults, and like the range is endless, right? And he just did that and was like, man, I just want to let you guys know, like, I love you, and reach out to someone. I even have his paper to this day that he gave us. It's like a check-in, like, just reach out to people you love, let them know you care for them, you love them, and just know that you're loved, right? And I mean, yeah, it's been my favorite pair of shoes that I've ever gotten. I keep them with me. You see, I still got them. And I mean, it was a great trip. So that's kind of how that came out.
Tremendous message, from the J Foundation, and the coach Avalos for setting that up, and I'm sure the ops team in there is setting that up. But I think those are things that happen behind the scenes sometimes that people never really realize are going on, and what that means to you guys, and because let's be honest, I mean, shoot, Billy, you just went through it, right?
Right.
And maybe everybody doesn't take that stuff as well as you did, but there's always heartbreaks. I mean, I know Riley, shoot, 2 years ago we talked about getting you to the NFL and all that stuff, and body just didn't agree. That those can be dark times for people, and to have people sending that message, hey, there's people out there that care about you and love you, and you guys are very fortunate because you guys have such special families and great friends around all the time, but and do a great job communicating, but not everybody has all that stuff. And so for somebody like that to take the time to get you guys down there and do all that, that's awesome. And you get a pair of cowboy boots, which something you probably never would have bought on your own. Right?
Never.
I still have them.
It was like a kid in a candy shop. Like, Jalen Green got the most sparkliest pair of boots I've ever seen. Dimitri was wearing his last weekend. He got the ostrich. He was, they were looking bougie for sure. It was a good time.
Definitely love them.
That's great. So
and like I just went to the country concert.
What else we got going on this time of year?
Billy Bo.
Uh-oh.
Here. I'm trying to figure out how to get a fourth person on, but it won't let me do it.
Oh, wow.
It's not
you drop me out for a minute.
I was like, I knew I recognized that voice.
I know. I've been trying to get him on for a minute, but
what's up, man? I can't see you, but I can hear you.
I can see you and I can hear you.
So.
Oh, that would be Connor Riddle joining the show.
Yes.
The better Rid.
Yeah, absolutely. You missed it. We got to talk about Grace finishing in the marathon, Riley getting 22 miles in the middle of the marathon, and them giving him a medal for finishing. So
I'm a fraud.
That might have been Grace's favorite part of the marathon, is you getting the participation medal, even though you weren't even a part of it.
I know. I'm going to cross out the 26 on and put a 22. I'm not going to. But
you can drop my picture out, Riley, for a minute.
All right. Well, yeah, I miss Red. We got to talk to him.
Get him out here.
There you are.
Connor Riddle.
That's the special guest right there.
This is the special
the
guest.
The boys.
For those of you who don't know, this is Connor Riddle. He was a former wide receiver at Boise State and probably one of the best placeholders ever. In the history of football. They used to have tape up. We would go to our team meetings and they would have a whole cut up of Connor just catching the ball above his head and then putting it down saving a perfect field goal kick. It was
I mean,
unreal.
you guys know Jonah Damas and all those guys. Well, they give their credit to this man right here because he's the one that gets the snaps. He's the one that puts the ball, laces out, laces out. He lines. There's a lot that goes into this that you guys don't know that this man does behind the scenes. This is Connor Riddle. Welcome.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and he's obviously Coach Ridd's son too, and one of the coolest Riddles.
Yeah, I love
Definitely.
it. The Riddle family. Let me just throw this out there for the record. Riddle family is like my second family. I love them all to death. I mean, Mother Cam, Coach Rick, Connor, like I love them to death. They don't talk about it enough, but they are a great family. And I'm just so glad to have met them because they honestly helped me a lot in my career and my journey here. And just want to give them their credit. But that's enough.
Hey, well, you guys are part of the family too, so you know, we what is it? A couple weeks, you'll be at my sister's graduation party.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and the food too. Talk about good cooks.
Yeah,
that's the hardest times in college, and just being able to get a home cooked meal from them was life changing, no doubt. But what have you been up to, Red? Let's talk about you a little bit. You're out in Seattle now.
Yeah, living and working out in Seattle. Moved out here end of July last year, 2023.
Working for a great Bronco booster, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Dykeman Electrical, Alan Dykeman and his wife Dixie. They're awesome people and big supporters of Boise State, and a big reason I was able to get up here and be able to finally live with my girlfriend and do some great things. So the Boise State family is like no other, and that's just another example.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's pretty sweet, no doubt. And we still got to make the trip up there.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm in the extra bedroom right now. I'm telling you guys, there's a bed for you guys to stay in. We need to get you up here.
Me and Riley will share it.
Mariners are in first place, right? So
they are, but they took a big L today. So 11 to win, rough one.
Oof.
Hopefully they hold on though.
Oh yeah, but no, that'll be sweet, and we definitely got to make that up. It was cool to see you when we played Washington, UW, and being able to see you after the game and stuff. That was pretty sweet, and
yeah,
I know you're cheering for Boise State, repping us all the way out there. So
yeah, that was a cool experience / surreal experience a little bit because that's the first time I've been removed from the team in 5 years or whatever. I mean, I've been to so many Boise State games, but that one was kind of different. I don't know. I get
yeah.
I bet, dude. We were just talking about the spring game and how weird it was just watching that, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's definitely a transition. But I mean, it was nice. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's something about it being done that's like, it's bittersweet. You know what I mean? Like, it's like part of you's like, but like the other party's like, wow, this is pretty cool. Like it's nice to just be able to relax and not be super locked in and super intense pressure and all that involved in it. But it's like, it comes with its pros and cons.
Yeah.
So.
Like
during the game, spring game, somebody was asking me, like, do you miss coaching? And I said, yeah, I mean, there's definitely, things I miss, especially the guys and all that stuff. But the one thing that I said, the difference is I'm over here outside the fence, on the sideline, hanging out, talking. I'm not worried one bit about what's happening on the field.
Yeah,
exactly.
If I was inside the coach's box over there, I'm concerned about every single thing going on that field.
Exactly.
Changes your stress level quite a bit. As I was watching Dirk, yell at somebody in the helmet mic.
Yes.
I was going to comment on that. Once you get away from it, the level of stress that you have just
yeah,
way down. So you guys were in some stressful games earlier this year, and it was like, I don't know how I would feel if I was on that sideline right now.
How's speaking of kind of all that, I think everybody's doing well and you know all that. But the news this week, big news this week, was kind of Coach D totally misquoted and backed up on that. Even the reporter was like, "Yeah, hey, that's not what he said."
Yeah.
But on the NIL thing, what are you guys' thoughts about that? And just and for everybody that I think probably everybody watching this podcast, I would guess knows, but just to review it, I think Coach D said, "Hey, we're not going to pay freshmen out of the collective, but if they can get NIL money, great, all that." And as everything, I don't know how hard and fast a rule that is. I mean, there's always the opportunity for exceptions,
Right.
but I think that was totally taken out of whack. But I think what he was really trying to say is, hey, we're not going to try and get people to come here because of NIL money. If they can come here and make NIL money, more power to them. All the best. Great. We're happy for them. We'll aid in that, but we're going to make sure we've taken care of the guys that have been here and produced, like Ashton and some of those guys, first, and then we'll worry about just giving money, to try and get guys here.
Yeah. I mean, I think, especially with Boise State's culture, when you get here, you have to earn everything. And I think that's what makes us so good by the time we become seniors, because we don't feel like frauds and we went through the motions and we're just given everything and put up on a pedestal from the moment we stepped foot on campus, no matter how good you were. And I think coming in and everybody, no matter how many stars you had or where you're from, starting at the same level and getting somewhat of the same opportunities to just try to prove yourself, and not only prove yourself with your playmaking abilities, but like we talked about earlier, like as a leader and how hard are you willing to go when it gets tough and the competitive nature. I think that's what kind of builds Boise State's brand. And if guys are just going to a school to try to get some money, this obviously isn't the right spot in general. And that's a different mindset. But I mean, I think it's good for guys to get paid eventually, for sure. But the freshman rule, I mean, yeah, obviously there's different scenarios, and I see what Coach D wants to do for sure. And the vision, I love the vision, and it's just based on earning that money and not coming in expecting everything to get handed to you, because when you do that and you get injured or beat out or slapped in the face, then you're going to go straight downhill, rather than if you come in and you start building up, working up. If you face adversity, then you know how to handle it, and you're going to get paid eventually. I mean, 4 years of ball, you're going to get paid. So,
yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a whole different game now too, right? Like, you're not only recruiting guys to come to your team, you're recruiting the guys on your team because other people are trying to take them, or other people are trying to offer them this, that, and the third. So it's like you got a lot as a coach now, a lot more on your plate than you ever did before. Yeah. And it's like guys just got to, like, if you earn it, then you deserve it. But people just want the instant gratification now. They think it comes with it, right? You have high school players that are committing to places thinking they're supposed to earn $100,000, $500,000, $1 million. Haven't played a down for a university, haven't done a workout, haven't contributed nothing. And like you said, for us guys who have been in the program for so long and we've given everything and we're in the game before you can even make $1 off your own name, before this was even heard of, we're like, that's not what college football is about, right? That's not what this is about. That's not why we signed up for this. You got to earn it, right? So especially nowadays, I get it's different, times have changed, but it's like the mentality has got to be the same. I want to be here because I want to be here. I want to make this place great. I want to grow as an individual. I want to grow as a player, and I want to take that next step to help this place, not because I want to get money just for me, right? Like I feel like that kind of changed the whole dynamic of college football, and it's going to start being a little different. So,
yeah, and it's not would you guys agree? It's not a power thing. Like, it's not like Coach D's like, hey, I'm controlling your money. It's not that at all. It's just all about taking care of the guys. I mean, that have earned it, right? And it doesn't mean that, again, if you're worth money, like if some business values you and wants to spend money on you, they're not stopping that. It's really just about the money that the collective controls like where that's going. So I think that was something that was at least worth clearing up a little bit, because I think there's so many people that had no idea. And I mean, I saw like some sports center anchor retweeted it or something. Like, I'm like, and his point was like, well, you're going to have no players and you didn't have a problem taking the money. And like, hey, that's not even kind of what the story was. So make sure we're all clear on that.
Yeah.
Because Coach D, nobody's taking care of the players better than him, right?
No doubt.
100%. 100%.
I think another way you got to look at that too, and I mean, we all kind of touched on it. You got to take care of your guys. If you look at this like financially and stuff like that, if you're offering a bunch of money to guys that haven't even shown up on campus yet, and you know, now you only got half your NIL collective pool left, what happens when, you know, the season ends and you've got, you know, Ashton Genty and, you know, Andrew Simpson and all those guys to take care of. Right. So you got to make sure you have some of that money left for the guys that you know, have proven their stuff. And I think, you know, like at the end of the day, like if you take care of your business at Boise State will take care of you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Without question. And that may happen sooner for some people and later for others. And it just is what it is. So, but there is the other problem. I mean, there is a limited pool of money. So that is it. There are other places where the pool, you know, is probably still limited, but limited to a different degree. I know of one school that their roster will be paid about $30 million next fall. And I have that from a very, very good source. So
dang it, Riley, we just missed it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's interesting, and they're gonna be really good. Not only because they're paying them $30 million, but because the guys understand that it's not just about the money. The money's a byproduct of being a good teammate and working hard. And because they're understanding that, I feel like this is one of the first times this team is probably gonna really thrive this year. You know, they've always been good, but they've kind of hit some hiccups here and there. And I think they probably have some stuff that'll work through that. And that's not even, you know, I can't even imagine what the roster at Texas looks like or Alabama or Georgia. I mean, you know, this isn't one of those schools. So
Right. This is an interesting question too from Robert. He said, do you guys think other schools illegally poaching our players should be stopped by the NCAA? Rid's shaking his head. Yeah, I agree, because it just makes a huge distraction. And that's for a coach, especially like Billy said earlier, you have to re-recruit your guys every single year just because teams are always coming after them. And from a player's perspective, it's tough because all you want to do is focus on being the best player you can be. But then when you have people in your ear talking, pulling you different directions, it's tough to just put that on the back burner, especially during a season. But Rid too, like how is it from your perspective, having to try to coach guys and focus on a season, but then also having to fend off these other schools and re-recruit players throughout the season or different times of the year?
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I mean, you know, you start to think like, where's all the time gone? Well, that's some of it, right? I mean, you know, before you were coaching your guys, and Riley, you can speak to this, but we always had a relationship too. It wasn't like that, right? I mean, you know, we had plenty of time, but it wasn't like you got to, you know, you're spending half the time going like, hey, are you good? Are you coming back? Are you, you know, it wasn't like that. It was just more like getting to know each other and spending time and talking about goals and things like that. But now everybody's having to figure all that out. And, you know, again, two of the three of you on there have wonderful parents. The third one, sorry, you got stuck with. But, you know, like not everybody, do you know, necessarily who they're listening to and getting
Right.
advice from. And
Right.
that creates issues. And some people, it might not be their parents. It might be,
Right.
their seventh grade coach or whatever. And, so it's going through all that stuff, and it's hard. And I don't think, we're trying to talk about limiting guys' ability to be successful and having the opportunity to go where they want to go and all that stuff. I think what we're talking about is trying to get a commitment to be there for more than a semester. Uh,
Yes.
to try and help guys get through some adversity. And
Yes.
some you guys, we've all seen it. I mean, there's guys playing this year that are on their fourth team. It's, that's hard.
I went back
5 years
home
ago, that was unheard of.
and I
Yeah.
was talking to some players and young guys, and I'm just picking their brains, the younger generation, and they're saying, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, all I got to do is commit to this place. I only got to be there for 6 months, then I can leave. And I'm like, what? Like, bro, like
Because it's
so
hard to be all in 6 months, right? Because those first 6 months are going to be tough. Probably
Yeah.
the hardest 6 months you're on campus. Certainly at Boise State, right?
Yes.
I mean, as freshmen, you guys rolled in, all three of you guys together.
Mhm.
That first freshman year, moved into the dorms, waking up at 5:15 in the morning to walk over to the football facility with Coach
In the
Pitt.
cold.
Coach Pitt standing there, and Tyson and Pringle yelling at you to get your ass moving and get ready. And got to be in the weight room at 5 till 6 or whatever, ready to go.
Wait in.
When we were late.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I mean those days ended maybe 10 o'clock, and it wasn't like there was a whole bunch of free time.
No,
Exactly.
it wasn't.
And so you think about that, like, okay, well, if I can just go there and I make it 6 months, well, I mean, damn good and well the first 2 months is going to be awful.
Oh yeah.
And
Right.
fall camp's not a lot better.
And most of the guys you're not playing good. You're playing against better competitors, and you're the small fish again, and
Yeah.
you're going to be unhappy, and you're not getting the passes you want to or the success you want to, and then you're always going to start looking if the grass is greener on the other side, which most of the time it's not. But when you have opportunities to bounce like they do nowadays, it's hard not to be persuaded, especially like you said, when there's people whispering sweet nothings into your ear. You don't know how true it is. You could be listening to somebody and then pull the trigger, because you can't talk to coaches during certain times. So you're kind of going off trust, and these guys will pull the trigger and leave. And then that opportunity that they thought they had isn't there. And then, or they go somewhere else and they had the same exact experience. And then you're just
Exactly.
So,
Well, and all this, in my opinion, so like you get 3 months in, and if you're not fully invested during that 3 months, that's going to be tough. And
right.
now you're probably even less invested after 3 months because you're where you're at, and you're like half checked out and whatever. At that point, how much better are you getting? How much are you improving? Right. Well, then you go in January and go do the same thing at another place. Again, how much better, so your developmental cycle gets pushed back.
Right.
And
Definitely.
now you're hoping your body matures because you're not doing all the things you probably need to be as hard as you would be if you're doing it in the same realm with everybody else.
Yeah. And just to like speak on it, like I feel like if any sport is the sport where you gotta be like at least somewhat tight and have chemistry with your team, it's football, right? I feel like if our team wasn't as tight as we were this past season, there's no way we get that championship, if that makes sense. Well, there's no way we walk away going through all that adversity we've been through. If I was with a bunch of guys that I didn't really know, you're not going as hard. You're not fighting. The talks we had as a team with no coaches, no staff, just the players alone this year set the whole tone. It changed the whole dynamic of everything. It literally changed our whole course. And if I'm at a place where I don't feel that comfortable to look Riley in his eyes and be like, hey, bro, we need to lock in, or we need to get these guys and get close, because if we don't, we're done. You don't have that same credibility. And I feel like it's a lost art if you go about it that way.
Yeah, your best hope is just to be a really good football team.
That's
because
it. Yeah.
if adversity hits, it's going to be a problem.
Yep.
Definitely.
building off Billy's comment there about the chemistry too, just PSA to I don't know how many players out there in Division I football that will ever see this, probably very few, but like what you miss out on by doing that, like the three of the best relationships I have in my life are all in this call right here.
Mm-hmm.
And two of them I wouldn't have if I didn't stay for 5 years at Boise State.
100%.
And like, I can't imagine, what my life would be like if I picked up and moved 2 different times, 1.5 years and then 2 years and then 6 months.
Right.
I wouldn't have relationships like this. And I think, those guys that are jumping around all like that, they're missing out on, some of the best parts of life.
Absolutely. Great message.
Definitely. in the stories we're going to be able to share in the future, like
exactly.
Even just talking to you guys, and my dad posted another comment, and he was talking about us being roommates, and it's like when you live with somebody, it is just like it changes your whole entire relationship. And Rid, you practically were at our house all the time.
Yeah. Honorary roommate.
Yeah, I heard you guys talk about Stat earlier. That was my roommate.
Yeah, exactly.
Static. Yeah, like it's crazy.
I was talking to him earlier today, actually.
Yeah, and it's just crazy how like football brings you together, and you're jumping around and not being able to grow those relationships. Like we have some of the funniest stories that we could probably be on here for hours on end talking about. But then like bringing it back to the Jays boot stuff, like we feel confident and comfortable with each other to an extreme point to where we're always there for each other. And and that's the real like sweetness of football, is being able to build those relationships. It's not really all the wins, but like Rid said, like being able to go and play football with each other for 5 and 6 years it's crazy. It's life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I got a topic that I would like to, it's a little off the subject right now, but I saw something today and I would like to know your guys' feeling. Apparently there's talks going around about doing away with walk-ons in college football and bringing down the roster size to like 85 or something like that.
No, can't happen. I'm just.
Yeah, I agree, because I think there's walk-ons that completely change a whole team's chemistry and push them to extremes, because they're not giving anything. They're fighting, and like guys like Rid and Tubner are 2 guys I think of right now. Just
Tyler Crow,
Matt Griffin, Tyler Crow, like
Avery Williams.
Yeah. And that's just our program. Like
so many guys that come through and change not only just on the field, but the type of people they are and the type of competitor that they are. And like we always talk about the walk-on mentality. Like that's how we approach life in any arena. Like right now in work, I'm trying to be a walk-on and just like try to take that approach. And taking those guys away, I feel like that's just going to take out a whole section of guys that really push the team to new extremes and that actually carry people to be better. Because guys like Tubner was watching film. Avery Williams was sleeping in the film room during fall camp when he was a walk-on. And if you're on scholarship and you see a guy doing that, that's not even getting paid to be there, like that changes my mindset at least. So to your point, Red, we got to keep them. They make it go.
Yeah. I just have a hard time believing you would ever tell guys like you just can't. I mean, they might maybe go back to 105 or 110 or some kind of real number, but I don't think they can take it to 85 and just say no walk. I mean, there's too many good players that occupy that number somewhere between. You guys know forever. I mean, we've always had guys that were walk-ons that were better than some of the scholarship guys. 100%. Our 85th scholarship guy a lot of times was not a very good player.
Yeah. And the coaches aren't always right. Coach Rid might not be recruited.
That's absolutely right. I mean, and I'm not going to sit on here and name names, but I mean, there were some guys that had no business playing college football that were on scholarship.
Right. So I mean, I agree with you. I don't ever really agree and just taking opportunities away from people if it's not something that's like super, like that's crazy. No, yeah, I don't see that happening. And I mean, I feel like after COVID, like all those athletes that were kind of there with COVID, it'll start slimming down a little too because of there were a lot of guys that like that rift kind of. There's still 5 to 6 year guys on teams, but then after a couple more years, it'll go back to your standard 3 to 4 year guys, and then we're good. So
and that is funny. I mean, there's guys this year 7th to 8th year. I mean, there's a whole bunch of guys using COVID years. 6 years is like not even abnormal.
Right.
There's guys 7 and 8 now.
Yeah, like Ty Neal's the grandpa of Michigan State. Like he's over there. And shout out Ty Neal. He's killing it. He's back. He's running around good, moving good. I know he's fired up for this year.
Yeah, we'll have to get T-Hop on here.
We'll have to. I know he's doing great.
Yes.
But yeah, that's impressive. And 7 fall camps is, I don't know.
There's not a whole bunch of people that would ever agree to that.
Yeah.
No.
But another guy that's got the right mindset never had a bad day. So
1,000%.
Yes,
yeah. What else we got going on? And then we can kind of wrap this up and let everybody get on with it. But I think those we kind of covered the big topics for the day we hit the spring game. Got an update on Billy Riley's marathon training. Hit some NIL topics, the walk-ons. Yeah.
I got a question for you, Coach, if you don't mind. I got a couple for you and Rye.
Yep.
Red, you can definitely hop in too, man. I mean, special guest. So starting with you, Coach Red. So my question would just be like, who was someone that influenced you a lot in your life, right? Like a mentor or someone that just got you rolling and on your feet, a role model for you?
Yeah, well, I would say my dad for sure was always one of those guys, and always, educating me and pushing me, and he was really good about pushing me when I needed it and helping when I needed it, and he was just a guy that's always been there for me. His dad also, who kind of grew up working in the steel mills, and like at age 30 decided to go play college football. Okay. And played at Missouri in the Cotton Bowl like age 32 or something. They told him he couldn't advance any further up the corporate ladder without a college degree. He was like, well, I'll go to college then.
That's it.
So,
that was the 5th down game, that Cotton Bowl.
No, it wasn't that one.
Grandpa's pretty convinced it's that one.
Yeah, well, he might be mistaken.
Okay, and the next question is also like, so that was my follow-up question. Like, how did you get involved in football? Like, how did?
Well, so I was going to tell you, but the other guys were coaches of mine, and guys that I always kind of looked up to. One of them was an assistant coach at Iowa that I ended up working for at North Texas when he was the head coach, and he was the guy. His parents lived down the street from where I grew up, and so I kind of always followed him, and he was just always a role model, a guy like, hey, I like him. I like what he does. I like all that. Named Dan McCarney. Barry Alvarez was the guy that, I kind of grew up watching. And, here he is coaching at Wisconsin, going to Rose Bowls and, all that stuff. So all that. But then I went to college, and there were guys that coached me directly, like Jay Shockey and Mike Summers. Not everyday names, but then one guy that I got very close to and had a huge impact on my development as a coach was Brady Hoke from San Diego State. So at the time he was at Oregon State, but he's gone on. But he was the guy that him and Dan Farino really helped me a ton, just getting into coaching and all that. Rocky Long was another guy.
Nice.
So yeah, it was, we weren't very good at Oregon State when I was playing there. And as a GA, I figured out like, these guys are pretty good coaches. So, and they went on and, I think like 5 guys went on to be head coaches.
Oh, wow.
There. Bronco Mendenhall is another one. But anyway, those guys, I'm like, well, if these guys are all good coaches and we're not very good, that must mean the players.
Right.
And really, what I learned out of that is it wasn't even that we had good players,
Right.
and we had some of those guys are still great friends of mine, and it wasn't that we didn't have good players. I don't want to, but there was zero commitment from Oregon State at the time to
Right.
actually be a championship program.
Gotcha.
I have obviously changed that since and become much better. It'll be interesting to see where they go kind of from here.
Mm.
But at that time, it was like we had the worst facilities, the worst field. We had no training like we didn't have any of that. And it's just like, yeah, we don't have the money. Sorry, and we're playing against USC where it's like money is really not an object.
Yeah.
So you figure out, and Dan Hawkins, when he was at Boise State, and some of the people probably watching this will remember, but he always used to say, like, coaches don't win championships, institutions win championships. And it's by their commitment to it. And you can see that at Boise State. And it's really not just, the school, because we've had different presidents, we've had different athletic directors, although JD is freaking awesome, and that guy is a hustler, and all that. But we've won with different people, but the city and the community, the boosters, like they're making sure Boise State's not going to fail, and enabling Coach D to like get the right people on the staff, get the right people in the program, keep both of those people here, and that goes, that's not just coaches, players, but that's strength staff, trainers, video, graphic design. I mean, you guys know all the different operations,
Of course. Yeah.
recruiting. There's 200 people probably in that building every single day.
Right.
That make Boise State run, and those people are doing it because there are enough people, starting with Jeremiah and Dr. Trump and all, really everybody in the administration making sure it works, but then the community giving them the resources to make it work too. And that's one of the cool things.
Love it.
Got a little off track from your answer there, Billy. But,
no, it was great. It was great. A little lesson. All right, Riley, to you, man. So who's someone that's been influential in your life, and then also follow up, how did you get involved into football?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot for sure. I mean, I've always had a good support system. Just both my parents have been unbelievable for me, and I've learned so many lessons from them. I mean, my dad is the most competitive person in the whole entire world, I think, and he never let me win anything growing up. And that's my mindset. Like, whatever I do, I want to be the best I can be at it. Like, I want to beat everybody. And he taught me that. And he still won't let me win. I mean, during COVID, I was back home. We played basketball every night. And there was a time where he gave me a bloody nose and a black eye. I was starting to go up on him. My mom's all freaking out. But that's just like, he's just competitive, but he's such a good dude. And he always dropped knowledge on us. And that's the coolest thing. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we learn in college, but we don't learn enough about the real world and kind of what we're going into. And he always made sure to kind of give us that insight, and just personality wise, like my mom, like she's the sweetest lady I know, and she always has a positive impact, and she knows how to handle situations. And that's kind of, I tried to learn that from her. And she's always, her slogan was always, "You can do it, just put your mind to it." And she said that since we were like 4 years old. Yeah. She really didn't say that, but but so just that, like anytime I'm struggling with something or not thinking I could handle it, I always lean back on that. And then my siblings too. And it's just been great growing up with a family like that. That's always trying to push me to be better. And then all the coaches I've had just growing up has been unbelievable. Like Coach Ridd, like I know we've talked about it a lot, and I can't tell you enough how much you've impacted my life. And guys like Coach D, Harson, and Av, like all of them did amazing things. And my high school head coach, Daryl Sutherland, was one of the best coaches I've ever played for. And his main goal is to just build us up as people, not as just players. And like, he put lessons in us that I still use to this day and can hear his voice. And it's like, it's crazy. But yeah, I've definitely been blessed to have a lot of good support from people, and then a lot of great friends. Like, who you surround yourself is the type of person you're going to be. And I truly believe that the guys that I'm friends with back in Florida and in Boise, like, they're dudes that are always trying to be the best they can be. And they've influenced me to the extreme, and it's been great. So long list, but all those people. And then getting into football, growing up, my dad, he always had us just play every sport possible. And he was awesome, because he was the type of dad that wasn't trying to burn us out of sports. Like, he was always like, if you want to play this, then you could do it. Like, I'm not going to push you or make you go overboard. He was always competitive and helping us build and giving us support and resources to be the better person and better player we can be. But it wasn't like his goal to make us do stuff. Like, if we wanted to be great, then it's on us, and he'll help us do it. So he would put us in sports, and it was awesome to be able to have that. And so I started playing football when I was 4 and just played quarterback my whole life. It's actually funny. The first position I ever played was tight end.
Hey, full circle.
Crazy. And I played
just getting you back to your natural position.
Yeah, I guess so. But I came full circle. But yeah, so that's the long answer of that. But definitely a blessing to have all these people in my life that helped me get to where I am today, for sure.
Sweet. Love it. And Riddle, Connor, go ahead, man. Who's been someone that's been super influential in your life, and how'd you get involved with ball?
Well, football I was born into. I didn't have an option. That leads into influential. Mom comes first. Mom was that one. Sorry, Dad.
She was around a little bit more than I was. That's fair.
Yeah, she did tend to be around a little bit more, but both Mom and yourself, Dad, you guys were awesome in every way, shape, and form. Supportive, constructive. But yeah, I remember growing up as a kid, just teaching me how to represent myself. Every day I'd leave the car to go to school, and last thing my mom would say was like, "Make that Riddle brand great." So just from an early age, learn how to carry yourself and represent yourself in front of others, stuff like that. And there's, so you guys are awesome every way, shape, and form, like I said. And then there's just a number of other people that I could go on for days about that are part of that too. I mean, just from all the other coaches that you've ever coached with, Dad, like Bedell and Pitt. I mean, you guys thought you had it bad because you had your time with Pitt. I grew up with Pitt, so
that's funny.
I'm pretty sure, like, early on when I got there, Pitt had made a comment that he made me, like, not this other guy that's like on the screen with me here. Pitt made me. So
yeah, right.
Guys like Pitt and I played baseball growing up too, and so a lot of baseball people in my life that influenced me. I had a personal coach down there in Boise named Jeff Mace. I think I learned more wisdom from that guy than I could have ever imagined I would.
How to get tossed out of a game, that sort of thing.
How to get tossed out of a game. No, but I think the biggest thing I learned from him was how not to take yourself too seriously. That's gone a long way in life. It makes you not afraid to fall flat on your face and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, and then I couldn't be more in trouble if I forget to mention Kaylee. She taught me a lot too. Just not necessarily words of wisdom from Kaylee, but a lot of learning experiences with Kaylee, and so I'm grateful for every single one of those people, but especially my family. But lastly, I mean, like guys like yourself, Billy and Riley. I mean, I spent 5 years around you guys every day and seeing how you guys carry yourselves and how you guys go to work and get stuff done. I learned a lot from that too. It's okay to learn from your peers and, do a little bit of copycat. And, at a place like Boise State, I think everybody kind of gets that, and it, brings the group up together, collective. If everybody's learning the best qualities from everybody else, then everybody's getting better.
Yeah. Well, thanks, brother. Same to you. Same to you, brother.
Absolutely, bro. But awesome. Well, this is the longest show we've ever had.
No doubt.
I knew it was going to be like that. We had Billy. I knew it was going to be crazy. And then C. Rid popped in. I was like, yeah, we could be here all night. This might be an all-nighter special.
Season finale. Hey, we're logging it all night. Stay on, all-nighter.
All-nighter.
Someone's got work tomorrow, Bill.
Yeah, shoot. But yeah, guys, for watching them, we appreciate you guys as always. And this is technically our last show, but we're trying to find some ways to keep it going.
I think we're going to be good. We got something. So probably back every other week from now on.
Perfect. So yeah, we'll keep bringing some good guys on, and let us know on Twitter. Have any questions for us or anybody you guys want to see and talk to? Just keep us updated. But yeah, we'll keep it going then. That's exciting news. And Bill, C. Rid, we appreciate you guys jumping on, man, and taking the time. C. Rid, that was an awesome surprise. That fired me up.
Yes,
no doubt. But
it was last minute. I got a text. Kent Riddle, you want to jump on the podcast in like 30 minutes? And then,
have to. It's a must.
And then a text.
I figured with Billy on here that now was the time.
Well, that's perfect. I didn't even know this was going on tonight, and then I saw Billy when I jumped in. I was like, this is the best situation possible.
Love you guys, man. Love you guys.
Oh yeah, love you too, guys. And yeah, we'll be back in a couple weeks.
Definitely. Right. Yes, sir. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.